The war began without warning. The human colonies near the Vega Rim woke up to bright skies burning with alien fire. Ships that once carried trade and peace were turned to dust in seconds. The galaxy had seen wars before, but this one was different. This one started with fear. Captain Arin Holt stood on the observation deck of the Elysium, the human fleet's last stronghold. Outside the window, he saw streaks of red light cutting across the black sky. Alien ships, tall, curved, and glowing like living creatures, surrounded the human fleet like wolves. The scanners called them Varens. No one knew what they looked like inside those shining armors, only that they were fast, cold, and merciless. Arin had seen many battles, but when he looked at the enemy fleet this time, he felt something strange. Not hatred, but sorrow. He didn't know why. Maybe because deep inside, he could feel they didn't want this war either. The first blast hit the Elysium. The floor shook. Officers shouted, "Shields at 30%. Someone yelled. Smoke filled the bridge. Arin gave orders calmly, but inside, he knew they wouldn't last long. Then came the strange sound, a signal, faint but steady. A distress call. It wasn't from a human ship. It was alien. "Sir, it's coming from inside the Varian mothership," said Lieutenant Ray, her eyes wide. "They're asking for help, but it's in our language." Arin froze. In all his years, no alien had ever spoken human words before. "Patch it through," he said. The voice that followed was weak but clear, a soft female voice trembling through static. "This is Princess Liora of the Varian Empire. Please, if you hear this, my ship is under attack. Not by you. By my own people. They want me dead." The bridge went silent. Everyone stared at the captain. It could be a trap. Everyone knew that. But something in that voice, the fear, the honesty, felt real. Arin made his choice. Prepare a rescue team. The crew protested. "Sir, it's suicide. We can't board an enemy flagship." He turned to them, eyes sharp. "We don't leave people to die. Not even aliens." Minutes later, Arin and his small team boarded a stealth shuttle and entered the dark void between ships. Explosions painted the space around them in red and white light. As they neared the massive alien ship, Arin saw that parts of it were already destroyed from inside. Something was happening there, a civil fight among the Varians. Inside the halls were alive, walls breathing, lights pulsing like veins. The team moved carefully, weapons raised. They passed fallen alien soldiers, their armor cracked open, faces unseen. The silence felt heavy. Then they found her. She lay against the wall, breathing weakly, surrounded by broken guards. Her skin was pale silver, glowing faintly, and her hair shimmered like moonlight in water. Her eyes, bright violet, widened when she saw him. For a moment, both froze, two beings from different worlds staring at each other. Arin knelt beside her. "You're safe now," he said softly, though he wasn't sure if she understood. She did. Her lips moved, trembling. "Why, help me." He didn't answer. He simply lifted her into his arms. The faint scent of her hair, something like rain and starlight, filled his senses. For a second, time stopped. Then alarms screamed again. The team ran through the collapsing corridors, carrying her toward the shuttle. Every step was chaos, fire, falling metal, alien screams echoing in the dark. But Arin didn't stop. He couldn't. When they reached the airlock, a blast threw them forward. The shuttle door closed, just as the alien ship exploded behind them, lighting the void with blue fire. Back on the Elysium, medics rushed to treat her. Her breathing slowed, her eyes closing. Before she lost consciousness, she whispered something, words he barely caught. "You smell familiar." Arin blinked. "What did she say?" Ray asked, confused. He shook his head. "Nothing." "Get her stable." But inside, his heart raced. He didn't know this creature. He had never seen her before. So how could she know his scent? Outside, the war still raged. But for Captain Arin Holt, something had changed. He didn't know it yet, but saving that one alien girl would change not just his fate, but the fate of two entire species. The medbay of the Elysium was quiet except for the slow, steady sound of machines. White lights flickered above, casting soft shadows on the floor. The alien princess lay on the medical bed, her skin still glowing faintly like silver moonlight underwater. Captain Arin Holt stood near the glass wall, watching her in silence. It had been 2 days since the rescue. She hadn't spoken again. Her breathing had stabilized, but her body was still weak. The human doctors had done what they could, though her biology was unlike anything they'd seen before. Every scan told them the same thing. She wasn't dying, but she wasn't healing like a human would either. It was as if her body waited for something, or someone. Arin didn't know what that meant. He only knew that ever since he brought her aboard, strange things had started happening. The ship's systems were acting odd, sensors misreading data, lights flickering when she moved, and the air feeling heavier near her room. Some crew members whispered that she was dangerous. Others said she was cursed. But Arin couldn't believe that. He had seen fear in her eyes that night, fear of her own people. When she finally opened her eyes, the light around her dimmed. Her violet eyes slowly focused on him. For a moment, she looked lost, like someone waking from a long dream. Then, softly, she spoke. "Where am I?" "You're safe," Arin said quietly. "You're on a human ship. I'm Captain Holt." Her gaze lingered on him, cautious but curious. "Human," she whispered the word, as if tasting it. "You should not have saved me. They will hunt you for this." Arin crossed his arms. "Let them. I don't leave anyone behind. Not even an alien princess." She tilted her head slightly. "You know who I am?" "Your distress call said you're Princess Liora," he replied. "Of the Varian Empire." Her eyes darkened at the name. "Empire," she said bitterly. "There is no empire anymore. Only warlords who wear the crown of my father." The silence between them felt heavy. Arin didn't know what to say. He had fought aliens for years, but he had never seen one so human. The sadness in her voice felt real, the kind that came from loss, not pride. He took a slow breath. "We'll get you somewhere safe." She turned her head toward him. "Safe," she repeated softly. "There is no safe place for me. My scent is marked in their network. When they sense it, they will come." Arin frowned. "Your scent." She looked at him, studying his face as if searching for something. Her eyes softened. "Your scent." She whispered again, almost trembling. "It's the same. The same as before." He blinked. "Before? You mean you've met a human before?" She closed her eyes, her voice weak but full of emotion. "Not met. Saved. Long ago, on a dying moon, when I was a child. My ship crashed. A human soldier pulled me out of the fire. He was hurt, bleeding. But he smiled at me. I never forgot his scent. The scent of metal and rain. The scent that told me I was safe." Arin's chest tightened. He didn't know what to say. He had fought in many battles during the early Varian border wars. Could it be him? He had saved a few survivors once, years ago, before the truce collapsed. But he didn't remember any alien child. Before he could ask, the alarms blared. "Captain, to the bridge," came Ray's voice through the calm. "Varian ships approaching. They found us." Arin rushed to the bridge, leaving the medbay behind. The stars outside were now filled with light blue and gold warships surrounding the Elysium. The radar showed dozens of them. Too many. How did they track us so fast? Ray asked, panic in her voice. Arin's eyes went wide. He knew the answer. "They're tracking her," he said quietly. "Her scent, her energy. Whatever they use." Back in the medbay, Princess Liora had already risen from the bed. The soft glow from her skin had grown stronger, almost like armor forming under her skin. When the guards tried to stop her, she lifted her hand, not in anger, but in calm control, and the metal door sealed itself shut. Arin returned, shouting, "What are you doing?" Her eyes glowed brighter, and the ship around her hummed like it recognized her presence. "They won't stop," she said quietly. "They will destroy you all because of me. Let me go. I can end this." Arin stepped closer, his voice firm. "I didn't risk my crew's lives to hand you over. You're not going anywhere." Her gaze softened again. "Why?" Human. Why do you care? Because someone once told me, Arin said, that we don't stop being human even when the galaxy burns. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then she lowered her head. You sound like him, she whispered. The human who saved me. The ship trembled again as another blast hit. Shields down to 60%, shouted Ray over the comm. Arin turned to his crew. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. Get the engines ready. As the ship roared forward into battle, Princess Liora placed her hand on the wall. The metal glowed beneath her touch. Power surged through the Elysium. Systems that had been failing came alive again. Lights brightened. Shields strengthened. Captain, Ray gasped. Our power just tripled. What did she do? Arin looked at the princess in awe. She's saving us, he said softly. But deep in her glowing eyes, something else flickered, a secret, a memory, a fear. Because Liora knew this was only the beginning. The Varians weren't chasing her to kill her. They were chasing her to bring her back alive. The Elysium floated through dark space, its engines glowing with new power. Every system hummed, smoother than before, almost alive. Princess Liora stood in the center of the command deck, her silver glow fading softly now. She looked weaker again, but her eyes were calm, too calm for someone who had just saved a human ship from destruction. The crew watched her with mixed feelings. Some were afraid, others were amazed. None spoke. Only Captain Arin Holt stepped closer. What did you do back there? He asked. Liora's voice was gentle. I gave your ship what it needed. Energy from the Varian core, the same energy that flows through me. Arin frowned. You risked your life for that. She looked out at the stars. It was not a risk. It was a promise. To him, Arin didn't understand. To who? She turned her gaze to him. To the human who saved me long ago, the one I owe everything to. Her words stayed with him. He wanted to ask more, but before he could, Ray interrupted. Captain, we're detecting something strange. A Varian signal, but it's not hostile. It's searching for her. Liora closed her eyes. It is the Hunter fleet. They are not here to destroy. They are here to retrieve what they lost me. Arin folded his arms. You mean they want you alive? She nodded. They believe my blood holds the power to rebuild their empire. My father created the core, a living energy born from our planet's heart. When he died, that energy bonded with me. Now they want it back. Her eyes glimmered with sadness. They will tear worlds apart to take it. Arin looked at her closely. He had seen courage before, but never like this. A princess, hunted by her own people, standing between two races that hated each other. He spoke softly. We'll protect you. Whatever it takes. She shook her head. You don't understand, Captain. My presence will doom your crew. Every moment I stay, they grow closer. Arin's voice hardened. Then we'll stay ahead of them. I've faced worse odds. A faint smile touched her lips. Humans. Always so certain, even when they should fear. He smiled back slightly. Maybe that's why we're still alive. For a moment, silence filled the bridge. The hum of the engines was the only sound. But deep inside the ship, something pulsed faintly at first, then stronger. The lights flickered. Alarms blipped. Captain, Ray said. The energy surge is coming from the medbay. Same frequency as the princess's core. Liora turned pale. No, that can't be. The core inside me is waking. Arin looked confused. Waking? She took a step forward, gripping the edge of the console. When I used my power to save this ship, it felt something, a presence. The core inside me is not just energy, it's alive. It remembers. The ship trembled again. The screens showed waves of blue energy spreading from the medbay, touching every wall and system. Crew members stared in awe as glowing lines traced through the metal, forming patterns like veins. Liora fell to her knees. Her voice trembled. It's connecting. It's trying to find the one it knew before. Arin knelt beside her. What does that mean? She looked at him, eyes glowing faintly now. The human who saved me, the core, remembers him too. His touch, his scent, his voice. It's searching for him. His heart skipped a beat. That can't be. She placed her hand on his chest, over his heart. But it is you, Arin Holt. The core knows. I know, you were that soldier. You saved me when I was a child. He froze. For a moment, the sounds of war, the lights, the alarms, everything faded. He saw flashes in his mind. A burning moon, screams, the smell of smoke. A small alien girl crying under wreckage. He had carried her in his arms, bleeding, half-conscious. He remembered whispering, "You'll be safe now." Then everything had gone black. He looked into her eyes. It was you. Liora nodded weakly. You saved me, but you also saved the core. When you touched me, it linked to you. A bond between human and Varian, something that should never exist. That's why it reacts to you even now. The ship's walls glowed brighter, resonating with their voices. Ray shouted from the bridge. Captain. The Varian fleet is closing fast. They're scanning us. Looks like they've found her energy signal. Arin stood, his mind racing. Can we jump to hyperspace? Negative, Ray replied. The core's energy interference is blocking navigation. Liora rose slowly, her strength returning. They will not stop, Captain. They need me, alive, but they will destroy you all if I stay. He clenched his fists. You think I'll just let them take you? After all, this... She looked at him softly. If they capture me, they will use the core to create weapons that can wipe out entire planets, including Earth. Her words hit him like a blade. Earth, his home. The place he fought for. He turned toward the main screen. Then we don't run. Ray looked shocked. Sir, Arin's eyes hardened. We fight. Not for war. For survival, for both our species. The princess stared at him, her violet eyes glowing brighter. You are still the same human, I remember. Brave, and foolish. He smiled faintly. And you're still the same girl I carried out of the fire. Outside, the Varian ships surrounded them like a storm. Blue lights flared, weapons locked, and the stars vanished under the shadow of war. The Elysium stood alone, one human ship, one alien princess, and a living power that could change the fate of galaxies. And as the first blast hit the shields, Liora whispered under her breath, let the stars remember this day, when a human and an alien fought as one. The Varian fleet surrounded the Elysium like a storm of fire. The dark void of space turned bright with flashes of blue energy. Explosions echoed in the distance. And the human crew worked fast to keep their ship alive. Captain Arin Holt stood firm on the bridge, his voice calm but sharp. All units, defensive formation. Keep our distance and don't waste ammo. The ship shook as another blast struck their shields. Sparks rained from the ceiling, shields down to 40%. Ray shouted, her fingers flying over the controls. Arin's jaw tightened. Liora, can you boost them again? The alien princess stood behind him, her eyes glowing softly. Not yet. The core inside me is unstable. If I push again too soon, it could burn both of us. Arin turned to her, his voice low. Then, we need another way. She nodded slowly. There is one, but it requires trust, complete trust. He didn't hesitate. You have it. She stepped closer, raising her glowing hands toward his temples. The air between them shimmered. Do not resist, she whispered. Our minds must connect. The light from her hands surrounded them both. Arin felt a strange warmth in his chest. Then images flooded his mind. He saw her memories, her world of crystal towers and glowing oceans. The Varian Emperor holding her as a child, the core of their planet pulsing deep underground like a living heart. Then came fire, civil war, betrayal. The Empire tearing itself apart in return. She saw his memories, the dying moon. The small alien girl he had saved long ago, his years of battle. His loneliness among the stars. Their minds joined in a single heartbeat. When the light faded, they both stood still, breathing hard. Liora looked at him with tears in her violet eyes. Now I understand. You didn't just save me that day. You saved hope. Arin shook his head. I only did what anyone should. She smiled faintly. No human Not anyone would. That is what makes your kind special. The ship trembled again. The main screen showed 3 massive Varian dreadnoughts closing in. Captain, they're charging their main cannons. Ray yelled. Liora's glow brightened again, spreading across the floor like light moving through water. Then we fight together. Arin gave a sharp nod. Let's show them what humans and Varians can do. He turned to the crew. Ray, reroute all power to weapons. Target the lead ship. Everyone else, hold your ground. The bridge filled with noise, alarms, engines, voices shouting commands. The Elysium's cannons roared, firing beams of white light. They struck the enemy's shields, shaking the first dreadnought, but the return fire was stronger. The Elysium spun under the impact, its hull cracking, lights flickering, engines offline. Someone shouted. Liora stepped forward, her hands glowing brighter than ever before. No, not yet. She closed her eyes. The ship began to hum again, the same deep living sound as before. The light spread through every wall and panel. Crew members gasped as the controls came back to life. The shields strengthened, weapons charged, and the engines reignited. Arin stared in awe. She's linked to the ship, Ray whispered. The Varian fleet fired again, a wall of blue energy. But this time, Liora lifted her hands and a massive wave of silver light expanded from the Elysium. The 2 energies collided, shaking space itself. For a moment, everything went white. When the light faded, the enemy ships were pushed back, drifting and burning. One of them exploded, scattering debris like stars across the black sky. The bridge erupted in cheers. Direct hit. We did it. But Liora didn't celebrate. Her body trembled, her glow fading fast. Arin caught her before she fell. Easy, you're safe. Her voice was weak. No, Captain. It's not over. That was only the hunter fleet. The real danger is coming. He frowned. What do you mean? She opened her eyes, fear returning to them. The Emperor lives. My father's clone, twisted by the core's power. He commands the Eternal Armada. And now that I've used my energy, he will sense me. He will come himself. Arin's stomach turned cold. The Eternal Armada, the legendary Varian fleet said to be unstoppable. Ray's voice broke the silence. Captain, I'm picking up a new signal. Massive energy reading. Bigger than anything we've ever seen. Liora took a slow breath. He's here. Outside the window, space tore open. A massive ship emerged, a fortress bigger than any planet-bound city, glowing with golden light. It moved like a living creature. Its surface covered in moving symbols and pulsing veins of energy. The crew fell silent. Staring. Arin whispered, that thing's not a ship. It's a world. Liora looked at it with sorrow. The heart of Vera, my home, turned into a weapon. She turned to him, her voice trembling but determined. Captain Holt, this battle is no longer yours. It's mine. Arin shook his head. No, you said yourself, we're connected. That means this fight belongs to both of us. Her eyes met his, filled with both fear and trust. Then we must finish what fate began, together. Outside, the colossal Varian ship began to charge its main weapon, a golden beam, aimed straight at the Elysium. Arin looked at Liora and nodded once. Let's end this. The stars vanished behind the shadow of the giant Varian ship. It moved like a floating world, covered in towers of gold and crystal that pulsed with living light. The Elysium looked small and fragile beside it, a single spark before a rising sun. On the bridge, no one spoke. The crew stared at the glowing monster on the screen. The sensors screamed with unreadable data, energy levels beyond any known scale. Captain Arin Holt's voice broke the silence. That's it then. The heart of Vera, Princess Liora, stood beside him, pale but calm. It is more than a ship. It is alive. My father built it to protect our world. But after he died, they changed it. Now, it obeys the clone, the false emperor. Her voice trembled slightly when she added, and it obeys the core's hunger. Arin frowned. The core. The same power that's inside you. Yes, she said softly. It was once one being, split in two, half inside the heart, half inside me. It wants to be whole again, that's why he came. The ship shuddered. A golden beam spread across the sky, locking onto them. The Elysium's shields flared and cracked. Shields at 15%. Ray shouted, "One more hit, and we're done." Arin gritted his teeth. "Target the weapon core, all cannons." The human ship fired everything it had. White beams shot through the void, crashing against the golden armor of the heart. It was like throwing stones at a mountain dot, no damage. Then a voice echoed across every channel, deep, calm, and cold. "Liora, my daughter. You have run long enough." Liora froze. "No. It can't be." The voice continued, full of false warmth. "Come home. The core belongs with me. Together, we will bring order to this broken galaxy." Arin spoke firmly. "You're not her father. You're his ghost, twisted by power." The voice laughed, soft and cruel. "And you, human, are nothing but dust pretending to matter." Before Arin could reply, the next blast hit. The ship spun. Sparks flew from the consoles. Crew members were thrown to the floor. Liora fell to her knees, clutching her chest. The light inside her pulsed faster, brighter. "He's pulling at me," she gasped. "He's calling to the core inside me." Arin knelt beside her. "Fight it." "You can stop him?" Her eyes filled with tears. "If I fight, the core will destroy me. If I let go, he wins. There is no way out." Arin took her hand, gripping it tight. "Then we make a way." Their eyes met, human and alien, light and shadow. Something deep within the ship answered them. The same light that once saved them began to glow again, stronger this time. The core inside her reacted, not with fear, but with recognition. It remembered his scent, his warmth, his courage. Her voice changed, softer but deeper. "The core. It remembers you, Arin Holt. It trusts you." He frowned. "What do you mean?" "It will listen to you," she whispered. "If you guide it." Arin didn't understand, but he didn't hesitate. "Then, let's end this, together." She nodded, and pressed his hand to her chest. The world went white dot suddenly. Arin wasn't on the bridge anymore. He was standing inside a vast golden space, like the inside of a star. Around him, he saw fragments of memory and energy floating like dust in light. In front of him stood two figures. One was Liora, glowing silver and calm. The other was a dark reflection of her father, tall and burning with gold fire. "This is the core's heart," Liora's voice echoed. "It will choose who controls it." The false emperor stepped forward. "A human dares to enter the sacred light. You do not belong here." Arin faced him. "I didn't belong when I saved your daughter either, but I did it anyway." The emperor's eyes blazed. "You will die here." Golden energy shot toward Arin like fire. He raised his arms instinctively, and silver light burst from his chest, blocking the attack. The core inside Liora had given him its strength. For a moment, the two forces collided. Gold and silver, power and will. The whole space shook. Liora's voice cried out, "Arin. The core feeds on emotion. Focus on what is real, on hope." He closed his eyes, thinking of Earth, of his crew, of the little girl he once saved from the flames. He thought of her smile when she called him safe. The light from his chest grew brighter until it filled the entire space. The Emperor screamed, his form breaking apart. "No, I am the core. I am eternal," but the light swallowed him. The golden world shattered like glass. When Arin opened his eyes again, he was back on the bridge. Liora was still holding his hand, tears on her cheeks. The heart of Vera outside was breaking apart, golden cracks running across its surface. Ray shouted, "Captain! The enemy fleet is retreating. The heart is collapsing." Arin stared at the screen. "We did it." But Liora shook her head weakly. "No. The core inside me, it's still unstable. If it explodes, it will destroy us all." He turned to her sharply. "Then, what do we do?" She smiled softly, the saddest smile he had ever seen. "There is only one way. The core must go home." Before he could stop her, She stepped toward the airlock, her body glowing like a second sun. "Liora," he shouted, running after her. She turned one last time. "You gave me my life once. Now, let me return that gift." The doors opened. Light poured through, brighter than anything he had ever seen. And then she was gone. The airlock doors closed behind her. For a moment, the entire ship fell silent. Captain Arin Holt stood frozen, his hand still reaching toward the empty space where she had stood. The glow outside grew brighter, until the entire sky turned to gold. "Captain?" Ray's voice cracked through the silence. "The core energy's rising fast. If it reaches critical, the blast will swallow us." Arin didn't move. His eyes were locked on the viewing screen, where Princess Liora floated outside her body, surrounded by swirling silver and gold light. Her long hair streamed behind her like ribbons of fire. She was both fragile and powerful, like a star being born. "She's stabilizing the core," Ray whispered, tears in her eyes. "She's giving her life to stop it." Arin clenched his fists. "No. I won't lose her again." He ran for the hangar bay, ignoring every warning, every shout. The floor shook beneath his feet as the ship trembled from the growing storm of energy outside. When he reached the hangar, he jumped into a small fighter pod, one made for single-pilot missions. "Captain, don't do it," Ray shouted through the comm. "The radiation will kill you." Arin's voice was calm, steady. "She didn't give up on me once. I won't give up on her now." The hangar doors opened, and the small craft launched into the burning light. Outside, everything was chaos, debris spinning, fire streaking through space, and the remains of the heart of Vera tearing itself apart. At the center of it all was Liora, floating like an angel made of light. Her eyes opened when she sensed him near. "Arin, what have you done?" He smiled softly inside the cracked cockpit. "Keeping my promise." "You can't be here," she said weakly. "The core's energy, it will destroy you." "Then we'll burn together," he said. "But we'll finish this the right way." He reached out his gloved hand toward her through the open canopy. The moment their hands touched, the light around them exploded, not in destruction, but in beauty. Silver and gold energy intertwined, forming patterns like wings across the stars. The power that had once been two halves, the core in her, and the heart in the ship, finally became whole. Liora gasped as she felt the energy calm. "It's listening. It's healing." Arin's voice was faint now. "Good, that means it's over." She looked at him, tears glowing on her silver skin. "You'll die if you stay," he smiled again. "I already lived long enough to meet you twice." The light grew brighter, surrounding them both completely. In the final moment, she whispered, "Thank you, Arin Holt. The human who changed my fate." And then silence. The explosion that followed was not fire, it was light, pure, gentle, endless light that spread across the stars. Every ship, human and Varian alike, stopped firing. Every soldier looked up and saw the sky shimmer with colors they had never seen before. The war ended that day, not by victory, but by sacrifice. When the Elysium's senses cleared, the heart of Vera was gone. The battlefield was empty. Only a new star glowed where they had vanished, a soft golden light that never faded. Days later, the human fleet received a signal, faint, calm, and familiar. "This is the new Varian Council," the message said. "The war is over. We have seen the light of the core. We have seen what one human and one princess could do together. We will honor their memory with peace." Ray stood on the Elysium's bridge, staring at the star that now bore their names. "The Holt Liora star," someone whispered. "May it never fade." Years passed. The galaxy healed. The humans and Varians began to build together. Cities of light floating between worlds, powered by shared technology born from both species. Children grew up learning about the captain and the princess who ended the war not with weapons, but with courage and compassion. Some said the core became the star itself, its heartbeat still echoing through space. Some said, if you listened closely near the Vega Rim, you could hear two voices whispering in the light. One human, one alien, and the scent of rain and starlight still lingers there. A reminder of the day when a princess remembered a human, and together they changed the fate of the galaxy.